Why, hello there, my name is Depth Charge 2030, and today is day 26 of StormWatch Month. For those wondering what StormWatch Month may be, but for the past, 25 other days, and currently until the rest of May is over, I'm talking about all things Stormwatch, and today I'm talking about Stormwatch Post-Human Division, Volume 2. Ooh, Post-Human Division, Volume 2, it's the cheap Stormwatch. So yeah, let's just jump right in and talk about what's about the trade and all that. So for this trade, it collects issues 5, 8, and 8 to 12 of Post-Human Division. And yeah, woo. So the story goes that it kind of talks about the origins of how certain people who died in Final Orbit and how they can possibly still be alive, and how this Stormwatch kind of exists in a world run by kind of the Authority. So, turns out Jackson King, he was contacted by the current Doctor, and he's like, hey, we kind of may have sent your pal Winter into the sun, and locked him there after he tried to murder everyone, because he went crazy, so yeah. And then he kind of revives Winter, and then that leads to, everyone else kind of popping up. Although they're all kind of dead. But the Doctor manages to heal them, and so it's like, yay, everything's back to normal, yay. And then there's this whole subplot about how Synergy and Battalion, they're now married, and it's like, hey, you want to have kids? And Battalion's like, no, I need to be there to lead Stormwatch, because I'm Battalion. And then we kind of get this whole field trip run by Battalion to, the PhD to go and visit, the main Stormwatch, where they've kind of replaced Blade Master in all of the issues that he's been dead. They just replace him. And that's cool, because that's pretty sad. And then there's, all these little relationships that develop between characters, and you see the current standing between the main Stormwatch people. How Fahrenheit doesn't like Hellstrike that much because of reasons, and he slept with an alternate version of her. And then we've got the son of Henry Bendix running around running everything, because yeah. And then people are like, yeah, are you sure you're not evil? And it's like, I'm sure I'm not evil, or else you'd all be dead right now. Hey, William Bendix, everybody. And then, apparently there's a new diva running around. She's, the sister of Alessandra, but she's dead because she got blown up by Despot, a while ago. And so there's, her sister, and it's like, hey. And then we have this whole thing where Battalion gets shot in the head, and everyone's like, oh dear god, everyone's freaking out, and everyone's like, who did it? And, they lock down the building, they're like, no one leaves, we're gonna figure this out. And so, Fahrenheit, Winter, and Fuji, they kind of take up, the whole role of, lead investigators, or, we were together, we, we're each other's alibis, we'll, find out who did this. And so they start interrogating people. Hellstrike, he's, on the list of people that is definitely, hey, he might have done it. Certain people, like Gorgeous and the doctor guy who turns them into monstrosity, they're cleared because of reasons involving woohooing from The Sims. And, their brother Strafe, Malcolm, he's, a part of, the main Stormwatch, but he's, cleared because Battalion's all he really has, and it would make no sense for him to kill him. And, yeah, even Cannon gets interrogated, and he's like, hey, I'm not really a dude who can shoot accurate, because he just blows up crap. So Cannon, he's, cleared, and then Hellstrike, he gets cleared, everyone else gets cleared, and then they're like, who could it have been? And then it's like, oh dear god, it was her. Then it turns out Synergy was the one who had shot Battalion in the head, because her whole plan was to, take his powers away, but, leave him alive, and so they could have kids. Because she, saw how happy she was in the Bleed universe, back in the Warren Ellis run, and is like, I want to be that happy. I want kids. Can we have kids? And he's like, no. I was like, okay, fine. I'm gonna plot. And then she gets taken away, but then it turns out Battalion, he's still alive. He's like, hey, what happened? My head hurts. And it's like, oh, don't worry, still got your powers. Okay, why are you guys carting away my wife? Oh yeah, she shot you in the head. He's like, what? And then, yeah, Battalion, your life is kind of messed up. And then we get to the next, well, story arc, where it's like someone's hunting down old Stormwatch people and killing them. Like these two people. Ivory and Ebony, they're dead. They've been shot. They're dead. And then what I like about this is we kind of got to take a look at people that we kind of forgot about from Stormwatch Run, and we see Nautica and Sunburst again, and it's like, hey, remember when you guys got axed off the team? It's like, yeah, we've been living a good life. We even see Prism again, and he was like a very lesser known character. He was from the new Stormwatch that was sent to replace him. We even see Komache, the animal dude, as well. So we even see this one guy called Ghetto Blaster. We don't know who he is, and he gets killed in the same panel. Whee! And so they finally discover who's the killer. It's the walking ghost, the guy from before. He goes around being a ghost and stuff. And then, because of, well, the machinist's connections with one of the villains from sorry, excuse me, because of his connections with one of the villains from the last trade, who like he spared, and is like, hey, Attica, do you know what's going on with this guy called the walking ghost? And he's like, okay, Mr. Machinist, I'll definitely look into that. So the Attica, he kind of gives them like information. He's like, yeah, this is happening. He's targeting your families, and so they all go to like save their families, but he misinterpreted the information because he's actually targeting like the cops, their families. So he kills a lot of cops, and then they just get angry and is like, let's go get this guy. And then they do, after kind of failing, and so they blow up like, yeah, they actually just beat the crap. They get the crap beaten out of them, let's just say that. The walking ghost, he's like standing over them all victoriously. He's like, yes, I have defeated. And then Paris just walks in and just kind of just shoots him in the head. But he scrapes him in the head. He's like, he knocks him out. And he's like, cool, I win. And then then they just take Synergy out of her cell and say, hey, Synergy, can you depower this guy for us? And she's like, sure. And then, yeah. And the trade ends with them at a funeral for all the dead people who died. And yeah, that's sad. See? It's a funeral. So that's the end of the trade. My thoughts on it. For the first issue, I found the art a little jarring and kind of weird. But the story on its own, it was nice to see some characters who we forgot about, you know? And really see, like, hey, Sunburst and Nautica. I almost said Sunkissed right there. Hey, Soda Man and fellow wife of his. Hey, you guys are still around, and see all those other people, even nameless people. It's like, it was kind of like fan service to see all these other characters we haven't seen in a while. So it was nice, and I liked to see the interaction between Fahrenheit and the rest of Stormwatch Prime. It's like cool to see those guys all in the same room again. So yeah, the story on its own, it was okay. Like, yeah. Oh, who shot Battalion? Ah, I wonder who it could be. It was actually like, I didn't expect Synergy to do it, though. So yeah. Well, those are my thoughts on that. There's been Stormwatch Month Day 25, 26. Dear God, I cannot remember dates to save my life. Stay tuned for Day 27, and yeah, take care. Ooh.